like the seed1 option so we can copy the seed. So this is the unique number which is assigned to the specific collection. So for example, we've got the specific seed for this one collection. Then another one seed which is just different for this one collection. And another one which is different for this one collection. So basically, when it comes to the specific one collection of the images, we've got a different number and we don't have this number in any other collections of the images. So seed is like a unique indicator for the algorithm to refer to the specific collection of the images. For example, if we'll provide the seed of the specific collection, it will say, hey, I would like to create something in very consistent style, basically something very similar, also like the boy with the very similar, I would say, the clothes, and overall the image which will be in very, I would say, same one and very similar theme to the one with this one specific seed. So I hope that you understand it. Also I can compare it to the situation when you are going to the grocery and you are picking the tomatoes and you see the one with the, I would say, the red one spot, maybe not the red one but the brown one spot, and you would like to pick, I would say, this one specific, I would say, the tomato, which is just unique. However, now comes to you like the worker of the, I would say, the grocery, and like say, hey, I will pick for you 5 random, I would say, the tomatoes. But you say, no, I would like to have this one specific, like the tomato with the brown one spot. So this is the same one, similar situation, I would say, with the seed. So we are just telling the algorithm to, like, based on your image, on the style on the image, and just overall just refer to the specific collection and create something again just based on this one specific collection. And with that kind of the long information, we can go over ahead to these 3 dots and copy the seed. And now what is very, very important. We can go over right there and just paste our seed that we copied. And now we've got this number. And now again, you can notice, when we'll copy like the seed from this one collection of the images, so right there, and we'll copy it right there, it will be different. So now you can see the number is just unique. Again, when we'll go over right there, the number will be as the same as this, I would say, assigned to this one collection. And now basically what we can do, we can just enable this one option, so use fixed seed, and now just move the slider to the right, and now you are using the seed. And with that kind of the information, we can go over ahead and see our prompt. We've got the first one part, the second one part, we've got the model, the style, everything, and also the seed. And now we are ready to go. We can click generate in the right top corner and basically like do this 2 times. And now this is just perfect. We've got our boy which is wearing the yellow jacket, like the blue pants, and I would say the yellow like the shoes. And this boy is holding like the compass in his hands, alright? So there we've got it, also there, and also there, not really. However, we've got like a few results out there, so definitely we can use these ones. And now let's pay attention to the similarities between these images. So this boy and this one images. So the character, I would say, is pretty consistent. We've got pretty the same look of the character. Maybe it's not the same, but this is not very important because the most important, I would say, the facts is to have, I would say, consistent style. So the entire environment style, also like the clothes needs to be, I would say, pretty the same. Not at all, but mostly, because there we've got also like the yellow like the shoes, blue pants, and the yellow jacket. The boy is, I would say, the quite similar, so this is the great indicator. So we've got 2, I would say, the consistent, like the illustrations for our child book. And as I said again, it's the most important to have, I would say, the consistent environment, the consistent style of it, like the same one, I would say, the clothes, so the same one color, but don't be scared when the Leonardo AI will generate for you the images, like with some, I would say, the differences, like a little, for example, there you can see, we've got a little bit like the different shoes, but this is not a big deal. Also the face on these images are a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we've got the same one, I would say, the hair, the same one, I would say, the shape of the, like the face, the same one nose, and the same one clothes. So this is just enough, alright, for the children's books. Also, very important fact is to adjust the prompt to the circumstances and the situation. There we can read that, for example, in the chapter 1, we've got the boy which is, I would say, in the attic of an old house. However, in this one prompt, we've got only the, I would say, the sentence, which is the boy holding a magical compass that glows in his hands. So this is great to place this one boy in the, I would say, the old attic of an old house to better adhere to the situation. So now we can go over right there and copy this one sentence. So the attic of an old house. And now in the Leonard AI, just add this one sentence right there, because you can see like this one, I would say the illustration is not relevant to our situation. So the boy which finds, I would say, the compass in the attic of an old house. However, now if we'll click generate again 2 times, it will adhere to our entire, I would say, the chapter. And now you can notice that we've got it. We've got some illustrations to choose from. For example, this one is pretty nice. This one. So that, I would say, depends from the purpose. However, I don't like, I would say, that in some images we've got like the different color of the pens. So now I can go over right there and, for example, type again, like copy this one sentence and type boy is wearing blue pants. And now basically I can run this prompt and by this way like improve the results. So definitely it's way better. We've got like the blue pens, also the compass, and everything is at the point. So sometimes you need to use the prompt engineering in order to like create the better, I would say, the illustrations for your child book. So for example, like reorganize the prompt, like change the position of some, I would say, the parts, add some additional elements. However, be aware of just providing a lot of different details, because as you provide more informations, it less adhere, I would say, to your entire, like the initial one image of the boy, for example. So there I recommend you to just provide like the tiny adjustments, like providing, I would say, a few additional words or just reorganizing the informations out.